This is Q.I.Q, the question in question. Brought to you by TherapyBites Art Lab. Here to take a bite out of modern-day pseudo-psychological psycho-malarkey. Now entering the Art Lab studio, today's T-Ballers, a collection of fellow strugglers, confronting personal challenges, navigating precarious relationships, and tackling trauma. Humans like each of us, juggling difficult human emotions, each here with unique life experiences, lived stories, and questions we'll bite into that just might help you too. And now, entering the Art Lab studio for the 9,880th time is the host of TherapyBites Q.I.Q, Doc Heath.
On the show live with me. How does that? Do we have sound now? I think yes, I think we do have sound. But Jennifer's saying she's not sure why the sound is out, but I can hear sound in my headset here. Let's give it a moment for the feed to catch up, and we'll see if we have sound now. We apologize for the technological difficulties, but we will get this figured out. On the soundboard, it says now you're good. Well, my mom always said I was, but hey, she was biased. And we have lots of comments here. Thank you, guys. I appreciate that. I'll go with the rules one more time. You text your psychological Q.I.Qs to Doc Heath at 1-870-686-4196, and I pick the Q.I.Qs and only provide the answers live. It's your job, Q.I.Qers, to guess the question and form it in or as a question, and you can win merchandise while feasting on hopefully some good old-fashioned psychologically nutritious information. And you can go ahead right now and invite friends and family to join in. And we, yes, there is a lag there. Actually, I tested the lag between the time I speak to the time you hear it seems to be about 12 or 13 seconds to make it through cyberspace. But we're still at the mercy of technology. And by the way, here's some winner's tips. You can watch the TherapyBites YouTube channel, Watching these videos increases your chance of winning prizes and increases your subject matter knowledge. There are also some question banks on the T-Ball Clubhouse, which is every Wednesday. That's tomorrow. And you can get that link by looking at it on our show notes for the podcast. We have a Friday T-Ball Volley group, which is a video-based group. We have a Saturday morning community breakfast, and we pull questions from all those places. But let's go get started and take a look at the board. We have, of course, as always, Couch Crumbs questions and Creature Feature, Social Media Smackdown, fresh from the therapy couch. And this is our Couch Crumbs newsletter. You can sign up for that. And then Nero is our Psych Secrets. And let's go ahead and pick a question here. And question number 1 is, for 600 Psy coins, the answer is, this cannot be disordered, but thinking can. This cannot be disordered, but thank you, Jennifer. We appreciate that. You guys can join Clubhouse. It's an audio group, and that's every Wednesday. See if we get some questions to this answer. This particular thing can't be disordered. It's a common myth, even in my field of psychology. We talk about this being disordered, but if you're really faithful to cognitive science, which we try to be, it's one of our very most favorite things in the progression of how things work. This particular thing can't be disordered, but thinking can. And we'll see if we get any answers here on the clock. We have just about 30 seconds to go. And our purpose here is to really spread some corrective information, because there's so much disinformation on social media. And we want to correct that, because disinformation is just a disservice to you guys and to the public in general, and we want to correct that. Even some folks in my own field, I'll see they post things, and I wonder, how did you learn this? You certainly didn't learn this in grad school. Oh, and we have a contribution, and that is part of that daisy chain. That is a very good guess. But the question is, what is mood? Mood, contrary to popular opinion, cannot be disordered. People talk about mood disorders. We believe that's a mistake, because if you look at how that daisy chain works, it's actually A, something happens, B, I decide what to think about it, and C, well, I have a mood or a emotion. Therefore, to say it is a mood disorder is to ignore the causal factor that manufactures the mood, and that's our thought processes. So mood cannot be disordered, but thinking, yeah, that can. Let's go ahead and go to the next question here, and it will come from and by the way, the word of gig at the top doesn't keep track actually with the category being chosen. That's just a nifty little visual effect, but it comes from Creature Feature. And the answer is for 200 Psy coins, 200 that is, which you can redeem your Psy coins by saving up your gift cards that are won on Q.I.Q. Now, we encourage you guys to listen to this even after the recording. You can't win prizes for that, because we will have already given the answer, but you can participate. The only way to win prizes is to be present at 9 o'clock on Tuesdays and Thursdays for the show, and we look forward to you guys being here. The answer is for 200 Psy coins. This little critter loves to believe that that job interview or test or new relationship will turn out horribly, and there's 60 seconds on the clock. This little creature wants to believe and wants to convince you also that that job interview, that next relationship, that vacation, that anything is going to turn out horribly. And the question is, oh yes, that's great. Yeah, original thought was emotion, but instead was mood. Mood or emotions can't be the problem. The problem with the emotions is that they're never the problem. they're just the first thing that we notice. And as we say in the art lab, it would be like looking up over the horizon. I almost knocked my glasses off. I'm getting excited here. See? But is it the emotion that's the problem, the behavior that's the problem, or is it my thought process? Well, my thought process about the importance of this, I get excited about that, and that's not even a problem. But no, looking over the horizon and seeing smoke and calling the smoke department instead of calling the fire department, because the fire causes the smoke, and in this situation, emotions are the smoke. But what is it that's creating them is the problem, which would be our thoughts, our cognitions. Okay, this little critter loves to believe that that job interview or test or new relationship will turn out horribly. And we have a contribution. What is the emotional reasoning, Nat? Oh, you're so close. And we have another contribution here. Oh, I better move this around. Who is inaccurate, unrealistic thoughts. Now, that is so close also, but we're actually looking for a more specific answer here. And be careful, this is a tricky one. We have a few more seconds left to go. And the question is, let me check one more time. The question is, I did say it was tricky. What is the fortune-telling gnat and the catastrophizing ant? And the trick here is this. The little critter loves to believe that the job interview or the test or the new relationship that's in the future. So there's your fortune-telling. It's thinking that you know what's going to happen in the future. And it's not going to be good, which brings in the catastrophizing ant. So this is the despicable duo. Sounds like a Batman Brave and the Bold term. The despicable duo of the fortune-telling ant, or gnat, the fortune-telling gnat, and the catastrophizing.
You are a fellow human struggling with difficult emotions, a fracturing relationship, parenting problem, mental health difficulty, have a psychotherapy from hell story to tell, or a challenging life experience question, and would like to share your story by stepping up to bat as a T-baller. Either register by texting Q.I.Q to 1-870-686-4196 and join our Therapy Bites community, or send a postcard with your name, address, phone number, email address, and age to the address on the screen. Therapy Bites, Q.I.Q, P.O. Box 1391, Jonesboro, Arkansas, 72403-1391.
Okay, guys, we're back, and let's go to the board. And this particular answer will come from SMS, Social Media Smackdown. It is worth 400 Psy coins. I got to make sure I'm looking at the right camera here. And the answer is, what is the cognitive distortion on which a kooky Kool-Aid pseudo-psychological belief that you have the psychic power to determine if someone else is just leading you on, and you can know this even without having a discussion on the subject. And we have our clock going. I'll repeat the question for 400 Psy coins. Not the question, but the answer. What is the cognitive distortion on which a kooky Kool-Aid pseudo-psychological concept that you have the psychic power to determine if someone is just leading you on, and you can know this even without having a discussion on the subject? And we already have a contribution there. Oh, still learn the ant and the gnat. Yes. Negative automatic thought, automatic negative thought. They're the same thing. We like to be clever with that because, well, one of them Aaron Beck came up with, and I think his was the gnat, I believe. Negative automatic thought. And then Daniel Amen came up with, and our time is up. Daniel Amen came up, I think, was the ant. I might have those reversed. Our time is up. Do we have a answer or a question here? And the question is, and it was another tricky one, what is mind reading and catastrophizing? What is mind reading and catastrophizing? Of course, the kooky Kool-Aid social media concept is breadcrumbing. That's a new one for me. I just heard about that here a few months ago. But what that's really talking about is thinking that you have the power to mind read and know if someone else is just leading you on. Best to have a conversation. Oh, and that would have been the T-ball triple there. We'll go ahead and do the T-ball triple on this particular question. It is fresh from the therapy couch for 800 Psycoins. This is the gift you give yourself in order to learn to be in the moment, finding value in the present.
If you plan on being in the local area of your podcast player app and would like complimentary tickets to the TherapyBites Q.I.Q. Art Lab studio audience, please search TherapyBites on your device and just smash that subscribe button. Your complimentary ticket grants you access to alerts so you'll never miss a show.
Yes, and we're back. Gave you some extra time on that. The answer is this is the gift you give yourself in order to learn to be in the moment, finding value in the present. We have some contributions from earlier. What is over-assimilation? Over-assimilation is thinking that every situation is just going to be like this one. And of course, that would not be actually a gift. Assimilation is a gift. It helps lower the learning curve for driving this vehicle, since you drive that vehicle, or learning to write with this writing instrument because you wrote with that writing instrument. Your brain kind of assimilates from one experience to the other. But over-assimilation is a type of distorted thinking. It wouldn't be the correct question here. The gift you give yourself in order to learn to be in the moment, finding value in the present. Let's see, fortune telling, self-care. This would be a type of self-care. I would highly recommend that. But the question is, what is mindfulness? Mindfulness is the gift you give yourself in order to learn to be in the moment, finding value in the present moment. Isn't that cool, guys? You can share that out with people. And let's go on to the next question. And this question is, or answer rather, is going to be from the Couch Crumbs newsletter. And from the Couch Crumbs newsletter, the answer is, and some of these may repeat. I thought we had this one last week. We may have, but it's on the ballot again. The answer is, this undercover LARPer, L-A-R-P-E-R, is the editor of the Couch Crumbs newsletter. That is the answer. This undercover LARPer is the editor of the Couch Crumbs newsletter. And let's put some time on the clock here. Oops. And not the calculator, but the clock. All those little gadgets tend to look the same after a while, don't they? And see if we have any questions there. This is the question in question. The question is, what is the question in question? We'll go back to the other one while you're thinking. But this undercover LARPer, live action role player, is the editor of the Couch Crumbs newsletter. And if you want our Couch Crumbs newsletter, all you got to do is go to the podcast, and in the show notes, it has the landing page where you can sign up. You can also send me, Doc Heath, a text with your email address, 1-870-686-4196. And our time is up. And we do have a response there. We do have a response. And who is Sarah? I think she's a gamer. Well, I think Sarah is a gamer, but the correct answer is Heather. Heather is the editor. Gamer Girl Heather. Gamer Girl Heather. And let's go on to the next answer. It is 400 Psycoins from Psych Secrets, also known as Neuro. And the answer is, these two concepts are often mistakenly used interchangeably to describe an emotional state, but one phenomena is external and the other is internal. And we will start our clock here. Heather's editor, but Sarah is the LARPer. Sarah is the live-action role player. Well, we'll just have to throw out that answer because our editors of this program, gosh, who is that? Who can we fire for that mistake? Heather is the editor, but Sarah's the LARPer. We're going to have discussion because our undercover agents thought that they had camera footage of Heather out there LARPing. We'll have to check that. We'll investigate and get back to you. The answer here is these two concepts are mistakenly used interchangeably. And our timer has gone off. And let's see. Oh, we don't have an answer yet. Or I'm sorry, a question. But for 400 Psychoans, these two concepts are often mistakenly used interchangeably to describe an emotional state, but one phenomenon is external. One phenomenon is internal. And the question is, get ready for this, what are stress or stressors and anxiety? Stress or stressors, you can think of stressors as in oars in the water. Rowing would be a stressor. You get it, oar in the water. Rowing would be a stressor. But how you decide to think of it can create anxiety. Stress and anxiety are two different things. Stress is out there. It's the weight of life, juggling balls. It could also be the weight of or the pull of gravity on your body. As you're standing up, the force of the entire planet is pulling on your body. That's out there. But stressors are out there. Having stressors is having your oars in the waters of life. How do you get rid of stress? Well, you can eliminate things. You can, if you're working 3 jobs, you can cut back and work 2 or 1. If you're overcommitting yourself, you can pull back. But there's no way to completely eliminate stress from life because stress is life. That's part of that. But what are stress and stressors or stressors? Those are the same, stressors, and anxiety. Don't mix up the two. That's psychologically malnutritious.
Premier accommodations for our T-Ball contributors provided electronically by the luxurious Art Lab Studio, overlooking the steaming cesspool of pseudo-psychological social media psychomalarkey and located in cyberspace on your favorite podcast hosting platform, where we invite you to the most psychomalogically thrilling podcast in town, while you feast on our award-winning Psychologically-Nutritious buffet of TherapyBites cuisine, conscientiously cooked up by your hard-working T-Ball team chefs.
And we want to thank you guys for joining us this evening. Again, our hearts and prayers go out to those who lost loved ones in the Nashville, Tennessee shooting. That is close to my heart because that is my hometown. I was born in Nashville, Tennessee. And my hope is, as well as my prayer, is that the status quo of humanity does not hold true this time, because the status quo, when tragedy happens and you're not directly affected, is typically of our human race to exercise complacency. And I really hope that we don't exercise complacency during this terrible tragedy. Keep those folks in your thoughts and prayers. And what's the best thing you can do? Well, you're not powerless. You can speak up. You can call your senators, congressmen. And if you have a recommendation, all voices are important. And the other thing you can do is you can pay extra close attention and care to those in your life. For you do not know when someone you love, as Viktor Frankl would say, may be called away. Hug those you love. You may not get a chance to do that tomorrow. Thank you for joining us. Come back next time. We'll see you Tuesday night at 9 o'clock.
Next time on Therapy Bites Art Lab Q.I.Q, Doc Keith and T-Ball callers face off against steaming piles of pseudo-psychological psychomalarkey directly from your favorite social media platforms, or perhaps from the psychotherapy couch of a pill-pushing, emotion-demonizing, bobble-headed, woo-woo clinician who fed their kooky Kool-Aid to you. This is Art Potto speaking. Therapy Bites Q.I.Q is a Dr. I'm a Floyd Knot production. Distributed by the Therapy Bites Art Lab Podcast.